members, most of say I will do that. I would actually say, I can't imagine any reason why not, because I'm allowed to do it.
The president of Fox's Sean Hannity. This is day 21 of the partial government shutdown over border wall funding. Some federal workers not getting paid or protesting.
I have mortgage payments. We all have to eat. It's destroying the economy.
What do you got,
Conklin is in Denver. A missing 13-year-old Wisconsin girl, Jane Klotz, was found alive about 70 miles from her home where her parents were found murdered in October.
If you've got
She ran
this
up to
commercial
someone
that's
yesterday,
playing, then
walking
we're
their
good.
dog and asked for help. A neighbor called 911.
Because they would definitely be picking that up if the thing was broken.
Right. More details are expected at a news conference this week.
Hey, good morning. It's 8:47 at WFIR. I'm Joey Self. He was introduced to the nation as the son of Black Dog Salvage founder Mike Whiteside. Now, Tay Whiteside is starting to show his own that focuses on a place he calls the Machine Shop. And here's an introductory clip from the YouTube show.
Best example I've ever seen of the pride that American industry used to be built on. The way things used to be made were not just to make a
With that, WFIR morning anchor reporter Ian Price and myself welcome Tay Whiteside to the Rolling Valley's Morning News. Tay, good to meet you.
Good to meet you. Happy to be here.
Hey, good to have you here. Now, Tay, as we get started, let's start, we have to start here. Let's start with your Black Dog Salvage roots. When did you get involved with your dad's operation?
Well, Black Dog started in 1999, and I've been around the shop ever since. 99 puts me at, 6 years old.
Wow.
You know, and I was always around the shop taking things apart, but it took a few years to figure out how to put them back together. That was the key, you know. But over the years, you know, Dad taught me basic skills, woodworking, eventually metalworking, how to operate equipment, use a hammer without hitting your thumb, that kind of stuff. And we just grew. We grew as a business and we grew as individuals learning that kind of trade, and it's been really fun.
Good deal.
Good morning, Tay.
Morning, man.
So I guess now we know how he got you involved. How did he keep you involved though? Like once you got older, you became an adult. I guess this has to have been something you really wanted to do for him to keep you involved, right?
Yeah, it's no secret that mechanics, try to figure out how things work has always been an interest of mine. You ask my mom, she'll tell you stories about when I was a little kid, I used to go to bed with those like mechanical beaters, you know, you could crank the egg beaters. I was just fascinated with the gears and how they all work. So always been taking stuff apart and putting it back together, and fascinated with how things work. So it was perfect really when I was given the opportunity to learn a trade, especially, you know, woodworking and metal fabrication. It was just like something clicked in my head, and I was like, you know, this is where I need to be. So I hope he doesn't hear this, but I probably would have done it for free for a few years, you know, before I got paid.
You're about to get a phone call.
Yeah, that's right.
We're speaking with Black Dog Salvage's Tay Whiteside, who's got a new YouTube show called The Machine Shop. We'll start there. Now, how did you run across this place you're calling The Machine Shop? Like, what kind of brought you across this place's path?
So long story short, Dad and a local property developer bought the building. The building is the old Price Filler Machine Shop on Roar Avenue here, 1 block back from Tuco's Tacos. And it was an operating machine shop since the 1920s. And the guy that owned it unfortunately passed away about 4 years ago, and it came up for sale, the building and everything in it. And everything in it includes, you know, late 1800s, early 1900s, lathes, mills, all belt-driven, canvas belt-driven machines that are still operational, and they kept operational until, you know, 10 years ago.
With your dad and his profession and what he does with his time, how did you get it away from him? I guess, how did you say, like, hey, you got this, I want to do a show, I want to do something with this? Was there a little bit of a struggle there? Like, did he want it on Salvage Dogs, or what was the deal?
Well, it's been on Salvage Dogs. It was featured on a few episodes. We did a pick there. But the short answer really is that he doesn't have time for this side project, you know, or the energy, really, you know. Dad's getting up there, and I think he works really hard still. And if you watch the show, you know that. And I think he just, you know, he's got Black Dog as enough focus for him, and this is definitely, everything I know I learned from him, but I've built on it since, you know, and so this is definitely more of a passion project for me than it is for him.
We're speaking with Black Dog Salvage's Tay Whiteside, who's got a new YouTube show called The Machine Shop. So you get this building, all these machines are in it. What stuck out to you at first? What was the first machine that really caught your eye in the building?
Well, in college, I took some machining classes, milling and lathe work, so I was already familiar with those types of machines. I mean, there's a pristine Bridgeport mill that you see as soon as you walk in. I mean, there was a lathe in there. A lathe, for those that don't know, is just a machine that turns metal horizontally and you carve away at it. And there was a lathe in there that was 24 feet long that the guy had gotten from the railroad shop here in town.
Wow.
Most lathes are about 4 or 5 feet long. So this was a 30,000 pound metal lathe that I had to figure out how to move.
Yeah.
And we it's featured on our YouTube series how we ended up moving that. So
Oh, tease, I like that.
a little plug.
So when you were looking at all the machines, you had to move that one out of the way. You've done, I think, 10 episodes so far. 10.
Yeah, just about. So the interesting thing is that we've noticed we've been able to find a way to make something as dull as cleaning out an old machine shop somewhat interesting for people online. So that's been pretty cool. And the end goal is to turn it once again into a custom fabrication shop, focusing on woodworking, metalworking, a little bit of mixed media, everything in between. I'm not a machinist. Machinists are, scientists mixed with artists, and it takes a great deal of skill to be able to do that. Much higher precision than the kinds of things I'm used to doing. But we will keep the trades alive. We will keep manufacturing alive to some degree. So it'll be that building will be continued to be used as, a creative space in the trades.
We're speaking with Black Dog Salvage's Tay Whiteside, who's got a new YouTube show, The Machine Shop. Let's move to the trades now. That was kind of the next way I was going. What sort of trades? Now, I saw on the YouTube channel basically a lot about the machines. Obviously, it's called The Machine Shop, but a lot about the people behind them doing trades, typical professions. What kind of tradesmen have you been working with? I guess craftsmen might be the more proper term, but what kind of people have you been working with? How have you been finding them?
Yeah, trades, I mean, a lot of them are artists, really, but it's really just people. I mean, for lack of a better term, they're all older guys, and as I've been trying to sell some of the machinery that I'm not using, the guys I meet who are interested in buying this type of stuff are all guys that were, they were either grease boys in machine shops in the 20s, or they ran machines for 30 years, or their dad, their whole family's been in machine shops. It's how this country was built. It was guys that work with their hands, that they choose a trade and they master in it. These days there's kind of a shortage of specialization. People are always trying to do everything, but it was more common back then, and I say back then, 20s, 30s, 40s, for people to just choose a thing and specialize in it and get good at it. And that's what built this country. That's what built the railroads. That's what built, New York City. That's what built all this stuff. And this kind of shop was exactly where those guys chose to, improve upon their discipline. So it's been cool to just meet guys and hear stories from the past, and shipyards, and I mean any corner, welders, machinists, all that, and it's something I've been doing for 12 years with great intent. So it's cool that I've sort of placed myself in a position where I can be a vehicle for the younger generation to be connected with this old way of how things used to work. It's really cool because I hope in some way I'm relatable on camera. I'm not what people think of as the typical guy who's into machining, some old dude with a gray beard who, talks slow. And I try to make it fun and interesting because I am genuinely passionate and interested in it. So it's just a perfect, really passion project that I'm going to hopefully turn into a career. So it's really exciting.
I guess what they say is true: jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly. I'm the kind of person that I see a thing like in this radio studio. I'm like, how does that soundboard work? But I know that I don't have the ability to master everything that I see. So I'm kind of in that point in my life where I'm trying to find what is it that I'm going to do and be good at. And it's a satisfying place to be. Because you're like, not to get all cerebral, but it's sort of like I know my purpose now. I know sort of why I'm here and what I'm supposed to do. So this machine shop and what it's going to become is going to be very, hopefully, a conduit for me to chase that.
We're speaking with Black Dog Salvage's Tay Whiteside, who's got a new YouTube show called The Machine Shop. Tay, we've got about a minute left,
Sure.
So just tell people who are listening if they've seen Salvage Dogs or the TV show, they've heard about it. How is it different? What can they expect when they go to watch The Machine Shop?
Sure. So Salvage Dogs centers around building stuff and salvaging stuff. Black Dog's an architectural salvage company. And so the machine shop, if you like the build portion of Salvage Dogs, the machine shop is going to be very much like that. When we get the shop up and running, we're going to be building custom things out of whatever. And this new Meet the Maker series, which title's tentative, We are meeting with local artisans. The first episode is up. We met with Aaron Dykstra. We're just meeting with people that still do this kind of stuff. You know, blacksmiths, glass blowers, machinists, welders. You know, we want to find a way to present that to a younger generation. So this hopefully the Machine Shop is kind of a hub for that, and really excited for it to go. But yeah, check it out, YouTube, The Machine Shop.
Okay, we've been speaking with Salvage Dog's Tay Whiteside, who's got a new YouTube show, The Machine Shop. Check it out. Thanks for joining us, Tay.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Good morning. It is 8:56 on the house. This morning is brought to you by